Alright, let's head into Dusttown. Get this done for Harrowmont. Go deal with the underground. Get it? Underground? Here with the dwarves. Actually, on the surface, most dwarves are associated with the Carta or the, you know, the criminal organizations and activities. Dwarves partake in mostly smuggling lyrium from down below to the surface. Of course, it's in demand up there. Everyone from, who knows, mages in the circle to Templars to you name it. But this is the underground of the underground here. It's about as low as it goes in Dwarven society here in the slums in Dusttown. This is where you start if you do the other dwarf origin. You start as a castless thug, essentially. And you can kind of choose to be a moral thug or be a real ass. That's pretty cool.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform. Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity, especially for someone with a few connections above ground. Human kings, you know. They make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee. You haggle like a merchant born. Deal. Here's the lyrium, then. You, probably don't want to take it out of the box. I'll be waiting for the next order somewhere out of sight. Say, just around the corner.
Of course this guy couldn't possibly be a shifty, shady, underhanded, lying character down here in Dusttown. Of course not. I'd be stereotyping if I were to think that.
I didn't mean to get in your way. Stay away from me. I don't know nothing about it.
It's a shame these people are stuck here, and either way they go, they're in a losing situation. They can't go back up top amongst the commoners, or especially the nobles, and then down here they got to watch their backs every day with the Carta running around. That's not an enviable spot to be in.
Your clothes are so fancy. Did you get them topside? My ma'am used to say they don't got no stone to protect them topside. If I go up there, I'm gonna fall into the sky. Yes. When my dad left, he never came back. Who's to say he didn't fall up, eh? Don't fall into the sky when you go back up there. Yes? Why's someone like you hanging about Dusttown so much? Don't fall into the sky when you go back up there.
Now, I don't know what it takes to get this guy to sell nugs, but he'll go grab a nug and give it to you to give to Liliana as a pet.
Stop.
I forget what she calls it. It's not snuggles, but it's something like that. But, yeah. I didn't get the option right there for some reason.
It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I. I am nothing. My family has disowned me. I'm no longer welcome in any mining cast hall. Unless... But no! I can't bear to even think of it! My son's father is casteless, as is he. I used to be a miner, but my parents stripped my caste and refused to accept me back. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him. In Orzammar, lineage is traced through the child's same-sex parent. Had my baby been a girl, she would have been a minor like me. But as a boy, my son is considered tainted forever by his father's seed. Yes, I can become casteless with him, which is what I've done. Others have raised children like this, right? Begging for change, sleeping in doorways?
Now that's a mom. Wow.
You would do that? But why? Then I cannot offer enough gratitude. But I warn you, my father is a stiff-necked man. His name is Ordell, and he's usually at Tapster's in the evening. I do not think he will listen to you. But I will wait anxiously to see if you can do what you promise.
This is one of those cases of doing the right thing here. A mom should be willing to abandon everything for her child, and that's pretty awesome, so I will do what I can for her. Now there's, if I remember...
Hey there, stranger. 6 bits for a tumble. 2 silvers if you all want to go at
Poor
once.
thing.
I weren't talking to you. Hear me? We weren't talking.
Everyone's so nervous. Alright, you know, I don't know why she decided to sleep with a casteless man. I don't think you can really dictate love as far as that goes, but,
Well,
yeah.
look at
She knew the
that.
chance and had the
It's
child
not often
anyway,
Olga
and,
does to
well, there
seize
you
a
go.
fine-dressed stranger here in Dust Town. Help a poor cripple. What are you looking for? Know her. I used to run with her. Jarvia took over the carta not more than a year ago, and already she's got every duster with both legs bearing swords for her. Won't be easy. She's gotten real careful since Barat died. Real paranoid. She's got carta members all carrying these fingerbone tokens. She scratches some mark into them so she'll know they came from her. There's doors to her base all over the city, but only one is ever open at a time. And if you show up without a token, you'd never know it was there. Can't help you there, Salrocca. The carta members keep them real tight. Now, how about that coin you promised? I'll think of you when I go to bed with a full stomach.
Oh, that's good. Alright. But yeah, even if she made a poor decision, who she's going to sleep with, you know, I mean, if it's a guy and you already know the rules ahead of time, you got a 50-50 chance of having a son, and things aren't going to end so well. But,
What do you want,
oh,
Ward?
look at this guy.
You're out of your element down here. I'm no fool. Nobody just wanders around in Dust Town. You're here looking for me, and I don't like it. You've walked into a sodding fight, Warden, and I've already passed your stupid tome along. Too bad for you.
I sense some...
Probably not too bad for me. I think you're a bit outnumbered there, buddy. Sorry about that. Alright, so where'd you pass that tome along to? Proving receipt. Alright, so we'll have to head towards the proving arena. Again, also, you know, there's quite a few little things we just picked up here. We might as well just kind of go do them all at once. Come back and turn in what we can.
What are you looking for? We got nothing to buy for the likes of you. Or maybe you wanted to sell. Well, our business is kind of covert, if you know what I mean. It's illegal in Orzammar for me to engage in protected trade, but they look the other way if I share things with my friends. For money. Enough to know she don't fancy strangers asking questions. Only Jarvia's men knew all the entrances to her base. But I tell you, I've watched them. They go up to what look like bare walls, and poof, gone. Like there's a secret door. There's one just across the way. Watch long enough, and you'll see. Now you want to buy something, or are we done?
We sure gave up that bit of information easy enough.
Of course.
Yeah, he may have some unique stuff. I kind of like checking the merchants down here, because I probably won't come back later, so... if he's got anything I really want, and, actually, that crystal, I think if I'm going to bring Shale along, might as well give him something to fight with. Oh, yeah, an upgrade to what I'm wearing right now, actually. 10% extra damage. Quite a few of my attacks are backstabs. And that's the last part of the effort set, which I was never real impressed with that set of armor. I guess it looked alright or whatever, but wasn't all that big of a deal. Seems like usually by this point I found better stuff anyway. But if you were looking for the complete set, that would be one of the pieces where I think this is the only place you can get it. Alright, so we can deliver some lyrium, try to talk this girl's parents into letting her come home. See if we can't get one of these finger bone thingies. And there's nothing we can do with this now. We need one of those tokens.
Well, look what we have here.
Jarvia said you were looking for trouble. Congratulations. You found it.
I sense something drawing
near. Don't kill me! Sorry ancestors! What do they teach you on the surface? You fight like a bleeding archdemon. Sweet bloody stone, look at them all! Jarvia said you've been asking about. Don't look at me like that. I got a kid. I got no other way to bring in coin. The base is below the city. You can get to it through the wall of the third house on this row. Put this token through the slot, and it'll open. Well, will you let me go now?
Nope.
No!
If I wouldn't have been kicking your ass, you would have gone through with murdering me. I don't mean killing, I mean murdering. Okay, and so, you know, I'll tell you what, you won't be killing anyone else. Quite a few of these guys. Actually, the easier way to go about this would probably be to finish off some of his minions before telling him that his days are numbered. But, yeah, these guys, these castless thugs, oh, well, you know, they don't have any choice in life. They can go to the surface. They already don't have a caste anyway. They can go to the surface. They don't have to be murderers and thugs and strong armors and pieces of shit and blackmailers and hijackers and kidnappers and oh man, the trash. Now this is the trash they're talking about among the castle society, and they can say they're pushed into it, but they have a choice. You know, when you're dealt lemons, we'll make lemonade. I mean, that old saying kind of goes right here. Okay, if you're born into this and you can't leave it, yeah, actually you kind of can. You can at least go to the surface, make a life for yourself. You weren't quote-unquote recognized by the ancestors anyway. Might as well go try to do something rather than just be an evil piece of shit, hurting people. Not impressed by that. Anyway, before we use this finger token and go actually crash Jarvia's party down there in her hideout, why don't we go turn in some of the stuff? Make a quick trip to the circle and go to the tavern, talk to this girl's dad, and, you know, things like that. edit out some of the footwork.
What are you looking at, stranger? I could be. What business is it of yours? What? You think she'd die just to keep that thing? She knows what she has to do to come home. I never wanted her gone. Just the little cur. Can't she see she'd have a better life if she got rid of it?
I love they gave me this dialogue option.
I've been trying. It's not as easy as I thought. Look, just tell her... We never meant to hurt her. It just seemed best that... Oh, just tell her to come home. Her mother and I are waiting for her.
Nice. Even his own reasons didn't sound legitimate in his own ears, and so he rethought it. But that's cool, and I actually like that. Morally, I think that was a cool thing to do. Anyway, at the circle, there was nothing significant on the way here or anything. We didn't have any ambushes or any of that stuff.
Oh, it's you! You saved the circle. I'd kiss your feet if you didn't look as though you'd kill me if I did that. You'll settle for a handshake, won't you? Maybe a kiss on the forehead, eh?
This is the guy that was in the cabinet, hiding, when we came here to clean the circle out.
Suppose we feel the same way, then. Might not seem like much coming from me, but I appreciate what you've done for us. Ah, hello again. Would you like me to tell you again how wonderful you are? Or maybe you'd just like to talk a little? Well, mages need lyrium for spells and things. Nothing you'd know about. I suppose you did at that. Well, yes, but you see, the Templars use lyrium too. They cannot manipulate natural energies like mages can, but they need to be able to fight us. The big problem with lyrium is that it has diminishing returns, and the Templars become dependent on it.
You're taking advantage of the Templars, encouraging them. And for money, you despicable, profiteering crook!
If it wasn't me and Rogek, someone else would do it.
That's a dope dealer's excuse right there. So he's the circle dope peddler then, essentially.
They go sort of funny. In the head, I mean. They see things that aren't there, or have trouble holding on to a thought. It's not all of them, though. Some are worse than others. One of the fellows here has it pretty bad. Carol, I think. Those that know what I do have good reason not to get me in trouble.
Well, might as well minimize my losses here.
You're blackmailing me? Fine, take this. It's all I have on me at the moment. Now just leave me alone, please. This just isn't my day.
Now, when dealing dirty, you get done dirty. Okay, I knew better. I wouldn't have done this initially, but just wanted to play it out.
My men have scouted the tower. It's a mess, but the abominations are gone. You are very thorough. I'm impressed.
I am impressive, yes. Yes, absolutely. That's me. I'm the definition of impressive.
And I am thankful you arrived when you did.
Alright, so I guess we don't get the option
In no time.
to turn that guy in.
Doubtful. But it doesn't hurt to be optimistic sometimes. I shan't keep you then. Farewell. My men have scouted the tower. You are very thorough. I'm impressed.
Yep, I guess that's it. Okay, so I get the gist of it.
In no...
If you decide to deal with that guy, but refuse to go through with delivering the dope, and essentially he underpays you. I think it costs 40 sovereigns to get this crap. Get 8 of it back from him. I think I can sell it for like another 12 or something at the merchant, but I think I'm stuck with it. Anyway, like I said, it's something I wouldn't mess with in the first place, honestly. Okay, now I did pick up the other part of that key to the city thing. Oh, here's more of these guys. So this is how Balin works, huh? Okay, well, once again, I'm proof positive I picked the right person. Already knew that anyway, coming from the royal family, we already knew what Balin was. I heard a comment, I think it was from an NPC in Inquisition, but she said something along the lines of, you know, her actions, even if what they were trying to do would have worked, the future she was creating. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, this is not part of the video. This is actually in the game itself. For some reason, I was just freaking out here. I think I'll just reload this area and see if that doesn't fix it. Never done that to me before. But anyway, she was like, you know, what I'm doing here, the future that I'm creating, it won't be worth living in. You know, essentially, if you have to do all this bad crap just to get ahead because it's the only path that you can see, rather than have a little faith and do the right thing and trust that it'll work out, and I'll do all this crooked, evil, harmful crap to try to accomplish your goal because you're so narrow-sighted that's all you can see, and you know, you pile up all these sins upon yourself in the process of doing it, and then once it's all said and done, you know, you've got this just heap of evil that you've committed to try to win, whether it be a war or whatever, you know. Once you face that, you've essentially destroyed the world that you were trying to save, and it's not worth living in anyway.
You're awfully bold, walking right up to me after coming out against Prince Balin and approving. You do know who I am, right? I'm Vartag Gavorn, the prince's chief advisor.
Well, I know who you are. I'm just trying to needle you. Just an excuse to call you an asshole.
Hope you keep that sense of humor when the assembly votes Harriman out on his ear.
What, you think I'm joking? Yeah, but anyway, so like Balin's tactics were to create a future. It's not a future I'd want to live in. For example, if all that's necessary, you know. So anyway, all right, let's see what this guy has to say.
Well, if it isn't my new best friend. You make it to the tower yet?
Wow.
Mage named Godwin. He's one of the lesser enchanters. Runs some kind of experiments in the lower tower levels. But if you're dumb enough to buy yourself a box of lyrium and forget to sell it, no dust off my back. Pleasure working with you.
Okay, so yeah, I think essentially.
Wow,
any new options? No, yeah, I'm stuck with it. I go get the sale price and essentially lost half my money. I'm gonna get half of it back, but whatever. That's fine. At least we'll give this girl the good news and let her know her parents will take her back.
Yes? Why someone like you hanging about dust?
Yep, I don't know what it takes to unlock that guy to buy a nug, or get him to go get a nug. He just takes off and comes back and gives you a nug, and you can use that as a gift.
You're back. I thought you weren't coming. What did he say? Both of us? I don't believe he said that. I've never heard him refer to my son as anything but trash. He calls him it. But maybe Mother convinced him. Or you did. Oh, my friend. I cannot thank you enough. If this were a story, my son would grow to manhood and pledge himself as a knight in your service. When he grows up, I will send him to you. I promise.
Now, I believe this is a decision that can go down in your Dragon Age Keep import story. And I believe this is true to the canon that I imported into Inquisition. I don't remember who her son winds up being, though. I really don't. Oh well. That's something to actually look at, because I had totally forgotten about this, actually. And coming back to look at it now, I'm like, you know, I believe I did decide to save her and her kid, and, or maybe I sent him to the surface. You can do either. I mean, you can save the kid and her either way, but in this way she goes back to her. I don't remember. Oh well. I don't know that that's necessarily the best decision. Maybe going to the surface would actually be even better than going back to the father, unless the father really did have a change of heart.
Password?
I don't know. Password is Jarvia sucks lizard eggs. That's what it is.
Looks like we have
That must be it.
boys.
I'm sure that's the password Jarvia would set for herself. Alright, so now it's just time to kill everybody. Now, if the party is working the way it's supposed to be, we should just be able to essentially walk through these guys. Now, this isn't like Inquisition where you can out-level an area. Some things will be easier at a higher level, some things will actually be harder. Certain enemies, especially like boss-level enemies at a much higher level, are actually harder to kill than they were at a lower level. And they're supposed to be balanced, more or less, but, well, who is it? I think it's like Altered in the Circle Tower. I think he's actually a little tougher once you get up into the teens, should you do the Circle Tower later rather than earlier. I mean, I did it early for several reasons. Whether it was hard or not, I was going to do it early because there's some certain things like, you know, all the fonts in the Fade and stuff like that to get the free attribute points and things. I needed all that. Drake Scales, it was nice getting those. So I'd have something to give to, what's his face? The blacksmith in Denerim. Alright, now, don't want to miss any rooms here.
Trap.
It's not like this is a real tricky map. It's not like a maze or anything, but still, make sure I hit all these rooms. Mainly for the locked chests, more than the actual loot itself. Money isn't really an issue here. Might be an item or two worth keeping. Potions and things like that are always worth having. That's another thing you see me use rarely, except for the basic health poultices, is a lot of tonics and things like that. Haven't really even bought any of the recipes. Notice we passed a lot of merchants. Some of them have over a dozen recipes for different things like bombs and tonics and poisons and grenades and you name it. So I really haven't bought much of any of those. Now, had I decided to go the endless potent lyrium potion route to get all my money, then I would have needed to have bought that. And I think the recipe, I think it's in Denerim. At that one magic shop. Which you can go to Denerim like early. You can go to Denerim essentially as soon as you leave Lothering. And there's a lot of things I probably wouldn't even try to do early on. And several things that probably wouldn't really be doable. Some things that, especially if they require things like persuasion and stuff like that. There's some certain skills and abilities you want to have under your belt before you start messing with a lot of that stuff. Lockpick, things like that. Also, another thing you can do at Denerim is there's a belt you can buy in that magic shop, which gives you extra 50% XP for codexes. Not all XP, but just for codexes. But if you get that early and you wear it all the time, there are quite a few codexes that you're going to unlock. I believe it counts towards like each new enemy you discover, things like that, not just things that you read. But, you know, of all the things that you do read while you're wandering around in, you know, libraries and in caves and ruins and you name it, there's books and scrolls and all kinds of crap laying around everywhere. And, I mean, sometimes just looking at objects in the environment, like when we first walked in here in Orzammar, all those Paragon statues. Each one of those gave like 50 XP. Well, that was, what, like 6 of them. So that could have been an extra 150 XP had we been wearing that belt, just for example. It's a way to capitalize on XP. Probably get an extra level or maybe even 2 out of the game. With the rogue, essentially it's not really all that big of a deal because my rogue is basically done. I'm about as effective as I'm going to be. You see, I have one active ability that with that little blade sweep thing that I do. Other than that, it's really all basic attacks and, you know, stealth and that one where I can stun my enemy. But I don't have a whole lot of abilities and skills unlocked. And some that I do, I don't even have active. I don't even have them assigned. I just rely simply on basic attacks. It's like how I really like to play a lot of my Dragon Age games, actually. Not a whole lot of active abilities, but just to build my character and my party in such a way that the basic attacks you can capitalize on other stuff. Critical hits, critical damage, buffs from your party members, debuffs, on the enemy from your mage's spells and stuff. Now, you know, of course, mages and everybody else in my party, they're going to have lots of things that they do. But my character's pretty much basic attacks. Run around and just hack away like that. I think it's fun to build a party like that. Where it works, of course.
Finished.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm after. Not really so much what's in the chest, just the act of unlocking them in the first place. I think pretty much everybody should level by the time we get to the actual deep roads themselves. Looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. As much as there has been to do so far, dealing with the, you know, the nobles and dwarves here and doing all this stuff, dealing with the carta like we're doing right now. Once all that's said and done, then the deep roads themselves, and there's all the different types to explore, and then after that, go find, what's her name? Bronca. And that's like a whole nother big area, basically a whole nother story quest in and of itself. Okay, now there's a key to this actually. If I don't follow the instructions, actually I can get injuries. I actually have to use an injury kit for a type of injuries. So let's see. There we go, Jammer's stash. Alright, so take the cheapest item out of each stash, or else you will suffer a grievous injury. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Alright, so let's see. I guess the cheapest would be silver, right? If you pick the wrong one, then you'll know. You'll lose a little health and gain a injury over there to the right, on the right of the screen. You see those 3 buffs above my my hotkeys, and those are all positive things. And then if I had injuries, it would be red boxes sitting above that.
Warden sends his team.
I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever not really thought about it too much, and you know, party members going down, you're really not paying it much attention. And then you switch to that party member and you look, and they've got like 4 or 5 injuries. You know, spread out across the right side of the screen, and you're like, oh wow, this person was taking like double damage, doing half damage, had like no resistances to anything. I mean, those debuffs, the injuries can be. I think they're random. Like they could be any one of a number of things, but each one will have a pretty significant penalty to that particular party member. Somewhere in there it says, you know, remember to you know, use your injury kits and stuff like that, because it's kind of hard for your party members to run around and be effective with a cracked skull. Okay, now before I head through that door, I think that leads to the rest of this area, right there. Pretty sure. I think over here on this side is a dead end, so let me go ahead and clear this out. Been a long time since I've been here, but yeah, I think this is a dead end right here.
I sense something growing here. On it.
One active ability I may unlock is Twin Fangs. So one thing, another reason I don't use a lot of active abilities is because like coming out of stealth, and when you use them from behind, they don't trigger criticals. I mean, you can do bonus damage for them as an ability, and I'm not sure if Twin Fangs will count as a critical coming out of stealth. Seems like it might, but of course I may be thinking about the other Dragon Age games too. Not sure, but I'll take a look at that. But if I do have any other active ability, it'd be just that. Because my second tier of hotkeys, you know, I'm like not really even using it. I could afford to sign some things there. Maybe a grenade just for funds, and I think you can assign grenades. And then a health potion to another one. And then oh, I don't know, twin fangs or something. I guess I could. A lot of my stamina is reserved for my buffs. My own version of haste and offense, all that kind of stuff. My attack rating's really, really high. Notice I very rarely miss, except for against maybe some boss level enemies. And we're going to get to the point here where I really won't be missing them much either. And they're going to have a much harder time hitting me. I may even have a 50-50 chance to dodge attacks from, I don't know, like a high dragon. Or something like that. You know, that type of thing, where you have that kind of defense going. And your offense, where you're hitting just as often as you're not getting hit. That's pretty effective.
Trap.
You wonder why I can sit there in mobs and essentially just live, and I'm squishy. You know, I haven't put a single point into Constitution. Any points I do have in there are coming from, like, rings, equipment, or from the fonts in the Fade. I've put no points in there leveling. Everything has gone to dexterity. Another reason I went to the circle early was there's a minimum strength you need, and I'm sorry, I've put a few points into cunning. Okay, and minimum cunning you need base cunning for specific skills to unlock certain things. But other than that, everything's been going towards dexterity. And I kept, in fact, if you remember, I didn't even level for a long time in the circle because I wanted to make sure exactly how many points in cunning I was going to have before I assigned any points into it whatsoever. Because I wanted to unlock all my persuasion boxes, you know, my speech check stuff. I wanted all those unlocked, and anything else I might need for stealth. Oh jeez, whatever I might need cunning for. I think 22 was the actual max number I needed for any skills or abilities or things like that. And equipment doesn't count towards that, so it had to be actual base numbers, permanent numbers. Now the fonts counted as an actual plus towards my base stats, but I still had to sink a few points in cunning. But then after that, it was all dexterity. Hoping my dexterity is about close to 100. Let's see, I'm gonna level probably 5-6 more times. And that's roughly 15-18 more points. And I might get another tome or two, maybe. I don't remember. You know, come to think of it, no, I think I bought all the tomes now. I think these ones here in Orzammar were the last of them.
Task complete, on to the next.
Help me.
I don't think there are any more merchants. Pretty sure there's not. Let me think.
Thank you.
Because we've already been to the forest. We got the tomes there. Already got the tomes in Denerim. The ones that I know about.
My friend didn't make it.
Bought the ones here. Yeah, I think that's it for tomes. So yeah, I'll probably hit around 90-ish. Maybe a little bit higher in dexterity, but that'll be plenty. So it seems like there's something I can give Alistair to keep active that buffs the whole party's attack rating.
What shall I do?
I know Liliana's got one, but I'm not going to have her in the party. This is probably one of the last areas or last times you'll see her in my party unless I have to take her on some personal quest specific thing. I can't think of anything like that. I'm not saying there's not, I can't think of anything. Here in Orzammar so far, I've been kind of a nice guy for the most part. Except for agreeing to deliver Delirium, but even then I did the right thing. But so I have the nice crew with me. Alistair and Liliana and Wynn are all very, very, very nice and fluffy and all that. But after this, yeah, I think I'm done with Liliana. It'll be me, Alistair, and the mages. Although, let's see. You know, I think in the Deep Roads, I have to take Oghren. I think I have to. If he's in my party, which I'm going to go... Yeah, of course I'm going to accept him in the party. Ogren's too cool to not do that. Assuming there is a way to even keep him out of the party early, I don't think so. I mean, you might be able to tell him to piss off. I'm not going to... Anyway, so he'll be in the party, so I think he's required to go to the deep roads with you. And I'd wanted to take Shale, so... I don't know. I would much prefer to run with 2 mages, where we can keep, you know, things like Paralyze and even Force Field and things like that active most of the time. I hope I got that. Yeah, I think I did. I think I got that. Looks like Alistair's trying to trigger the traps. Shale, Alistair, and or Shale, Ogren, and Wynn.
Let's get started.
Might be the crew I have to roll with. If I want to take Shale with me. Gotta have a mage, gotta have some kind of healer. Wynn can throw force field, so it'll be her over... Oh no, she can't throw force field. That's... No, that's a problem.
Got it.
I don't know, we'll see. If I can get Wynn to have force field active. It's nice because if Alistair's drawn all the hate, that she can essentially make him invincible for a bit. And then he can get a chance to heal and get right back on his feet. It's a big part of keeping him tanky. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, we're kind of flowing like water through some of this stuff. So I think we'll be all right either way. I do really want to give Shale a trip down there because I really want to hear his dialogue more than anything else. Honestly, I really do. See some of the stuff he has to say. I don't think I've ever taken for an entire trip down there in the deep roads before. Should be pretty cool. I mean, that's essentially where he came from, right? So you'd think there'd be some story behind all that.
Light as a feather, silent as a wraith.
Now these guys, if I was playing a warrior mage right there and drew aggro, those Carta assassins, considering I wouldn't have a defense rating through the roof, I get 1 or 2 shotted by those guys. I believe they're pretty nasty, if I remember right. Like I say, I play probably the worst class to be playing against mages. That's why I was made a beeline for Mana Clash for Wynn, and I want Morgan to have the same thing. But for situations like this is an ideal class with the Dex build. And with the Cunning build, I'd be taking all those hits. And I'd be doing a lot of damage with backstabs, but I would have to rely heavily on stealth and stay out of it more than I have been. And if you factor in that, all right, say with the Cunning build, you have a lower attack rating, so when you play on Nightmare, you're going to be hitting a lot less because enemies have a lot higher defense, okay? And when you do hit, you'll hit maybe twice as hard, but you only hit, well, I don't know, half as often or something. Now, you can have Liliana in there buffing you, but you have to make sure she's on her feet at all times. And that also means keeping 2 rogues in your party. And so you're going with 1 mage and 1 tank. That's another downside to that party build.
Done and done.
And then, more downside than upside, in my opinion. I mean, you put up some huge numbers. I don't know, your backstabs could get into the, oh geez, probably even maybe 100 plus. I don't know what the highest backstab would be if you had your Cunning all the way maxed out and all that. And you had all your buffs going just right and blah blah blah, and had, you know, all the right abilities assigned to your character to where you raise your offense as much as you can. Probably put up decent numbers, but you're going to get hit a lot more. You're going to be twice as squishy. You're not going to be able to stand in there among mobs like that and basically tank everything. I mean, I'm not taking the hits, I'm just not getting hit, period, you know? So, say mages are the one real downfall, but yeah, there's just so much downside to a cunning build. I think some people just get fascinated with the huge numbers, and I get that. But I think I'm putting up decent damage overall, because I'd rather hit 10 out of 10 times for 50 than 5 out of 10 times for, you know, 100. I mean, honestly. And, you know, be taking more hits while I'm at it and all that. And then you really are actually really squishing. You know what? I haven't seen on a single enemy yet marked for death, and I think I've got that for Leliana. I just don't have it assigned. If it's not in her tactics, she's not going to use it. That must be the case. I don't know, I'll have to go look at that, because she could have been putting that on any enemy that's like lieutenant or higher, which is ideal, you know. So anytime you're fighting, you know, these revenants and carta assassins and, you know, mercenary captain, you know, and all that type of stuff, they'll have mark of death on them, and they'll be taking more damage and have lower attack ratings and whatever other debuffs that thing gives them. Actually, I'm not sure. Is marked for death? I don't think it affects their offense. I just think it affects their defense. They take more damage, and maybe they can't be healed while they're marked. I don't remember. That doesn't sound right either. I know there's a spell that's like that. I got hit with one, a spell like that by an emissary, Darkspawn emissary, where I couldn't heal as long as it was active. In fact, after the battle was over, that debuff stayed on me forever, and it was doing spirit damage the whole time, and it actually killed me after the fight was over. Well after the fight was over. It was in one of those ambushes with Wynn, I believe. But yeah, that was a nasty spell. I'm like, man, that spell's so sexy, I think I'm going to give one of my mages that spell. Seriously. In fact, now that reminds me, that is what I'm going to do. Although, I do need to remember to get Wynn the force field.
So, Harrowmont finally realized we're taking the city, yet he still can't be bothered to send his own men. Well, you picked the wrong side, stranger. It doesn't matter who's king, as long as there's a queen. You'll pay for their deaths 100 times over. Kill them, but leave the pretty one alive. I have plans for her.
Really? Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna have to spoil those plans then. I'm trying to hear all that crap. Alright, now I'm gonna go try to trigger some of these traps. Anytime you see these barrels on either side like this, I don't think... Yeah, my skill's not high enough. Oh well. Well, maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a way to, like, lock in on it or something. Maybe? No? It's not working either? You get around? Nope. I guess not. Well, my team's over there in this, you know, epic battle over here, and I'm playing around with traps, triggering them on myself. All right, enough of that. 1 second is all you get with the boss if you can stun them. 1 second. Ouch. Ouch. Oops. I guess there was another trap right there. You know what? I probably could have disarmed that one. I didn't even know there was one there. So she sits in the middle of all three of those. She's got like a ring of traps around her. It's screwed up. She had a lot of backup, didn't she? Nice. Lynn's over here doing her thing. Alright, and I've got an injury. Oh, it's from picking one of the wrong gems out of that last of the Jammer's stash boxes. That's what that is. Yeah, see? I remember because I was like, what's worth less, fluorspar or garnet? They're both crap, right? I couldn't remember. Oh well. Alright, pushback strikers. They're a higher tier, but less damage. I'm not worried about an extra 0.1% of protection or whatever. I'll take that extra 5% critical. That's definitely good. Now, I could keep those, maybe give them to Zevran. I won't be taking him with me any more than I'll be taking Leliana, honestly, but that's cool.
Finished. Done.
Might as well equip them as if they were going with me, right? Okay, now a lot of these runes that I picked up here, I can turn those in to the Dalish back at the camp for XP. I don't know, you don't get much for them. It's like, I don't know, 50 XP or something. Maybe it's more, I don't know. But it's something. You get turn in a certain amount of elf root, once we deal with everything in Redcliffe, we have to go get the Sacred Ashes and all that. But once we've done all that, then we'll have troops from Redcliffe available, and we can give them money.
God, by all the beards of my ancestors! How did you... Where did you come from? You made a hole in my wall. First you send my daughter to the surface, and now this!
Well, that's how we roll. Sorry, man.
No! I don't have anything to do with them. They're criminals. When they built this part of the city, they must have built over some tunnels. I swear I had no idea. Oh, just leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with this. And if anyone comes asking, I'm gonna tell them you did it.
I know this is messed up, but I would like to petition the BioWare writers to give me an opportunity to come back and harass this guy in 2 or 3 different ways on top of what I've already done. Send his daughter to the surface. Put a hole in his shop that leads down to the criminal den, you know, to the carta hideout, and just harass this guy.
I heard the news. Jarvia and her carta are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender. And did Orzammar and me a great service. I have no desire to go back on my word. But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he raised the stakes. He is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the Assembly from hearing any other pleas. To help with your troops, I will require your assistance one last time. Do you know anything of the Paragon Branca? Yes, a smokeless fuel that made underground forges safer than they've ever been. 2 years ago, she took her entire house into the deep roads on a mad quest to uncover ancient secrets. No one's heard from her since. Were she to return and endorse someone for the throne, the Assembly would be honor-bound to accept her wishes. Her entire house went with her. It would take a lot to kill so many. If not, bringing proof of her death, or a body to return to the stone, would still show that as an ancestor, it was my hand she guided to her remains. It's hard to say what she would do. She wasn't exactly known for her predictability. She never seemed to like being a paragon. She was devoted to her craft, never cared for politics. But one of the most brilliant minds Orzammar has seen. Branca hated Darkspawn with a passion. She would certainly be a valuable voice to support your treaty. My men traced Branca's disappearance to an ancient crossroads known as Caradin's Cross. It is many miles below where we normally venture, but I can provide a map to lead you there. Just enter the deep roads through the mines. Thank you again, and may the ancestors guide your steps.
Alright, so we'll need to get that book for the Shaprid.
His lordship
Still need to go to the proving area and all that. And look who's guarding the proving area. More of these idiots. Man, I'll tell you, Orzammar's going to run out of dwarfs to help us with. They all would rather, I don't know, kill anyone that might actually be able to fight the war. Like, you know, us, the Wardens. That's all they seem to be focused about. Okay, well, whatever. I say, there won't be any soldiers left to honor the treaty with. To keep it up at this rate. So we'll go get this, take this proving ticket, and we'll go get the tome back for the Shaperate, but we don't have to go turn that in now. We can go turn that in later. I'm gonna have to return the Shaperate with some other stuff that we find in the Deep Roads anyway. Things that he'll be interested in. So I can do all that at once. But right now we might as well go get this, and then I don't think we'll have to come back here again. Okay, this guy that's got it, right? Fixer. Is that the guy that got us the blood arena thing? You know, before we actually did the real proving? That little underground proving thing they had going? Isn't that the dude? Oh, doesn't really matter. He's dead now, right? And there it is. Volume of Shaper History. Okay, so we can return that to the guy and get some kind of hefty reward for that. And I think all that's left is to meet Ogren again and get down into the Deep Roads and go do this thing. Alright, head into my next favorite area, right? Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I know it was a long one, but if you hung out, I really, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it, right? If you want to subscribe, click that button over my head. And for all my videos, click the box on the left. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.